And that gets to a nice segue into the conversation we're having, or we had been having during the Tokyo Olympics, surrounding Simone Biles and how
Hmm.
she was carrying, you were carrying the weight of tennis on your shoulders at that time, as you just said a couple of times now, that if you were afraid that if you came out, that it would ruin the entire tour. I would love for you to talk about um, your perspective on what Simone Biles went through in terms of stepping back during the Olympics, taking care of her mental health as all not only as a way of protecting the Olympic team but also protecting the sport of gymnastics.
I thought Simone was very brave and courageous to talk about her truth, what was going on. I think it was also fascinating from an athletic point of view, what would go on when she was flipping up and couldn't get her spatial relations. That
Hmm.
is frightening, just to think about that as an athlete. But I thought she was courageous in that she thought about the team first. Her leadership, I admired that. I've had the privilege of meeting her before at a Women's Sports Foundation gala. We honored her and getting to meet her and her mother, who were just wonderful people. And Simone did the right thing. She allowed the team to medal, which they wouldn't have if she said if she had been still stayed in it. So that was the right decision. And I think sharing her truth was really important to all of us. And Osaka
Hmm.
earlier this year had talked about mental health and how she was feeling. So it's very much on everyone's minds. It's great how female athletes do step up and use our platforms really well. I think we're very courageous in that way. In some ways, we've been the leaders uh, as women. We've been the leaders for all of these topics. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm glad they're using their sport as a platform to tell the world what's going on and what they're feeling. And it's important to discuss it. It's important to have it out and be open so we can have these discussions to make improvements and to help each other and know that we're not alone, that people learn that they're not alone. And that's where social media is really helpful. But then you've
Hmm.
got the other side of social media, whereas you've got the bullying and people making fun of others. And so we have to differentiate from that. So I think hopefully young people are not listening to that, only listen to the good stuff. Um, but I have great faith in them. I have great faith in the young generations to make this world a better place. I'm so pleased, like with Black Lives Matter, what they've done. Naomi Osaka, I just think it's great. Serena and Venus have led the way as well, and so I just think that it's important that we listen.
Billie Jean, you've mentioned her three times now. Osaka, you're talking about Naomi Osaka. I've seen your
Yes.
quotes about her. You think she is all of that. Have you had a chance to talk to her um,
I've
at all this summer?
Not very much. We've texted, and I know her agent really well. I've talked to him. I try to stay out of the way. I'm an older player. I try to stay out of their way unless I really. But she and I have texted back and forth for a long, long time now since she first started speaking out. Coco Gauff, when she spoke out, I've texted her to tell her how proud I am of all of them just using our platform of tennis and sports to make this world a better place and to lead. I love it. So, and I think Simone's done the same thing, and a lot of young people.